How's it going, everyone? So in this video we are going to look at the best value iPhone on the market right now, and that is the iPhone 14 Plus. The iPhone 14 Plus is so good, but I think it is underrated. Other people are not even looking at it. So in this video I am going to take you through all of the reasons why I say it is the best value iPhone on the market right now. So let's get to it. Following all the hype around the iPhone 15 right now, a friend of mine sent me a link to a tweet where a guy was talking about the fact that Apple makes approximately half of their revenue from iPhone sales. And that is the reason why they have to keep on selling new iPhones every year to keep that revenue stream going. He then went on to say that the problem is that these iPhones are so damn good that it is difficult to constantly keep on adding new and major features on new iPhone models every year, which could be the reason why Apple just only make minor iterations on each new iPhone model. He then went on to give an example that the biggest feature on the iPhone 15 could be the action button, which is going to replace the mute button that you can customize with different actions. That is something that I spoke about on my previous video on iPhone 15 update. So that's a video that you can watch later on. And he also mentioned that this kind of works for Apple and they've been getting praise for it. And I think I agree on that one, because if you look at the past 3 or 4 iPhones, it's just been minor iterations, and all of those iPhones have been somewhat successful and they've done well on the market. So I also think that works. The problem is that iPhones keep on getting expensive and it is not feasible for people to keep on buying every year. So not every new feature is good enough to push someone to upgrade. And this brings us to today's video. That is why I want to talk about the best value iPhone. So this is an iPhone that I believe that if you buy it today, you can use it for the next 3 to 4 years without the need to upgrade. It does the basics so well. In some cases, it is exceptional. And for the amount that you pay for it, it makes sense to say that you are getting good value for this iPhone. And that is the iPhone 14 Plus. So first, let us talk about the design and the display of the iPhone 14 Plus. So the iPhone 14 Plus looks exactly like the iPhone 14. It is just a bigger version. So the iPhone 14 has a 6.1 inch display and the iPhone 14 Plus has a bigger 6.7 inch display. The last time we had a plus size iPhone was with the iPhone 8 Plus. And after that, if you wanted an iPhone with a bigger display, you had to buy a Pro Max iPhone. This goes back to even the iPhone 10 or the iPhone X, you had to buy the XS Max. With the iPhone 11, you had to buy the 11 Pro Max. With the 12 and the 13, you had to buy the 12 Pro Max and the 13 Pro Max. And now with the iPhone 14, you have to buy the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The problem is that those are not just bigger iPhones, but those are bigger Pro iPhones. And those are expensive. So you have to pay almost an additional 8,000 to 10,000 rand to get that big iPhone. And not everyone needs all of those pro features. So you find yourself paying for features that you probably won't use that much, or you're not even aware of, or you could live without. And this is where the iPhone 14 Plus comes in, because with the iPhone 14 Plus, you only have to pay about 3,000 rands extra, and then you get yourself a bigger iPhone that has a bigger display that offers a better experience when you are reading books or watching movies or when you are playing mobile games. I use a standard iPhone myself, which is a smaller 6.1 inch display, for some reasons that I've mentioned on my other videos, that it's easy to type and to use it with one hand. But I can get away with this because I have an iPad, so when I want to watch content, I always opt for the iPad as opposed to the phone. But I'm pretty sure that if I had a 6.7 inch phone, which is slightly bigger, I'm pretty sure that sometimes or half the time I would use the phone to watch whatever content that I want to watch. I do of course watch content on my standard iPhone, but every time I have an iPad and an iPhone, I'm likely to opt for the iPad than the iPhone. So the iPhone 14 Plus offers a larger display at a good price. So for those that prefer bigger phones, they don't have to pay an extra 10,000 rands. They can get it with just an extra 3,000 rands. Moving on to the second thing, and that is the battery life. So the iPhone 14 Plus has the best battery life ever in an iPhone, as confirmed by Apple on the launch event. They also mentioned that this kind of battery life and the larger screen previously were reserved for the Pro models. And by the way guys, if you are enjoying this video, I would appreciate if you can hit a like button and then subscribe to the channel. Let's continue. Now on to the camera of the iPhone 14 Plus, which I think the camera is one of the things that most people buy an iPhone for. So if there is one thing that the iPhone camera has been known to struggle with, is to take good looking pictures in a low light situation. About 2 weeks ago, I was with a friend of mine and we went to a Puma event, and in the event I wanted to take a picture of one of the Puma Nitro sneakers, but we were outside and it was getting a bit dark. So I pulled out my iPhone 13 and my friend immediately said, you know iPhones don't take good pictures when it's dark outside, right? And I agreed with him and I went on to take the picture anyway, and we were both surprised. The picture actually didn't look that bad. And that's when I told him that actually Apple has been working to try and improve the iPhone cameras so that they take better pictures in low light situations. And now with the iPhone 14, Apple has mentioned again on the launch that they have improved the iPhone camera by up to 38% in low light. So the camera on the iPhone 14 Plus is an improved camera system that should take a bit more decent pictures. And now let us talk about the performance on the iPhone 14 Plus. The iPhone 14 Plus comes with an A15 Bionic chip, which is the same processor chip that is found on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. But I can tell you that people are likely to underestimate the power and the performance of the iPhone 14 Plus, not realizing that it is actually the same processor chip that you find on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So again, you are getting a Pro Max power but paying slightly less. Now on to the last thing on the iPhone 14 Plus, and that is the pricing. And I think the pricing of the iPhone 14 Plus is arguably the best determining factor as to why I say it is the best value iPhone right now, because for the starting 128 gig storage you can pay only 21,000 rand, and if you're lucky and they're running a promo, you can pay actually maybe even less than that. You can pay 20,000 or 19,000 in some instances, and you get all of those features that I have mentioned up to this point: the performance, the camera, the battery life, and the larger display. For all of those features for this amount, that is why I think the iPhone 14 Plus is underrated and it is the best value iPhone right now. I know that some of you might argue that, well, you can buy a used iPhone 13 Pro Max instead for that amount, but the iPhone 13 Pro Max is slightly expensive, so you might pay somewhere around 22,000 rand, and that's if you are lucky to find one with that storage capacity. Otherwise you find yourself paying maybe 25,000 rands for a 256 or 24,000 rands, somewhere along those lines. But if what you really want is the pro features such as Pro Motion or 120 Hz refresh screen and the third camera lens, then yes, the iPhone 13 Pro Max is the best value iPhone for you. So basically, to summarize, we have two iPhones, and that is the iPhone 14 Plus for most people, and then for people who say I want pro features and I don't mind buying pre-owned, then the iPhone 13 Pro Max is the phone for you. These are the two best value iPhones right now on the market. Let me know on the comments if you agree or if you disagree, or if you see any other iPhone that you think makes more sense as opposed to these two. And that brings us to the end of this video. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for engaging on the comments, for liking the videos, and for sharing. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new to the channel, if you like tech content. I'll catch you on the next video.